Hey, vibrant creators, awesome Angie here, honoring the awesomeness in you. And today I am super pumped. I am here with Miss Eileen Wilder, Mrs. Eileen Wilder. I am super pumped. If you are a speaker, coach, consultant, business owner, you're going to want to pay attention to this interview. I am very excited to introduce you to Eileen, who used to be a pastor living on humble means. Her husband was an Uber driver, working to support the family. And all of that changed when they discovered how to do listen to this, 6 and 7 figure days using virtual events. What?
Crazy.
I love being in rooms with big thinkers. So if that's you, you are in the right place right now. And welcome. Eileen has been called by major industry leaders the queen of stages. Oh my goodness. And she has spoken on stages with Russell Brunson, Tony Robbins, Kevin Harrington, Dan Kennedy. Oh my gosh, when you listen to her teach, you will immediately recognize that she is one of the most masterful communicators and teachers you've ever heard. And if you're ready to have more impact, more income, and most of all, more fun, then welcome to the Vibrant Creator crew, Miss Eileen Wilder.
Yo, what's up, team? Great to see you. YouTube, Facebook, podcasts, all the things. Listen, you're in the right place at the right time because we're going to dive deep today about how you can crush it and create wealth using speaking as a career. Angie, thank you so much for having me today.
So wonderful. Oh, this is so wonderful. I am excited, and I know our listeners are going to love to hear this part. What inspired you to get started in helping people get to their 6 and 7 figure days?
100%. Yeah. Well, I wonder how many people listening have ever wondered or seen somebody up on stage and having a really powerful message that impacted you and ask yourself the question, like, how do I become a speaker? Like, how do they do that? How do they get up there and how do they, in just maybe a few minutes or maybe even an hour, just completely impact an entire audience? I'm not sure if you ever wondered that, Angie, but I know I wondered that as a younger person coming up, like, wow, I'd be like, wow, it is amazing to become a speaker one day. And it all changed for me when I cracked the code of how to unlock getting invited on stages, using kind of one signature message, going around podcasts from little stages and little rooms up to big stages. And I not only cracked the code, Angie, of how to make money and become like a highly paid speaker, but what I really uncovered was like how to make that one signature message hit the hearts of thousands of people at one time and change their life. So I wonder how many people, I know Angie is somebody who changes other people's lives. So I know if you're listening, impact has got to be something that is resonating in your calling and in your heart and what you feel drawn to. And there's nothing, Angie, that can impact more people in the shortest amount of time than becoming a speaker. But we're going to dive deep into how I crack that code and how you can too for every person listening. Because if you're here and you're alive and you're breathing today, you were born with a message like in your heart. There is a story, there is a strategy, there are tips that you're sitting on that other people need. And when you start to, kind of see the you inside of you that you've always wanted to meet, the unleashed version of yourself, speaking that message with boldness, with authority, with impact, you will start to have a line of people come up to you after they hear you speak saying, thank you for stepping out and sharing your message. Some of them with tears down their face, Angie. They're like, so the power of the spoken word. Aristotle said, out of all the arts, oratory is king. So it's the power of like, how do you and I become such a potent, powerful presenter on the stage that we're not there for ourselves, right, Angie? We're not there for us. We're there to serve that audience at the highest level. So that's where we're going to dive deep. So
Wow,
Can't
that's
wait. Yep.
awesome. Yeah, the power in speaking. Thank you for sharing that. That is so awesome. And you've taken it to that next level where you help speakers get to that 6 and 7 figure day. I mean,
Yeah.
that's beyond what normally speakers are just excited to get paid to speak.
Right. Yeah.
And you
100%.
take it to that next level, 6 and 7 figure days with virtual events.
Yeah,
Wow.
100%. We have been blessed to do millions as speakers, and our students to do millions as speakers. So there is a level and kind of a secret formula for how to become $1 million speaker, which is in crazy pants. And I'll dive deeper into how you can do that too. But yeah, normal speakers, they get pretty excited, and it's really easy to actually become like a highly paid speaker. But what's amazing is there's another world, Angie. There's this, I call it like sometimes stepping through the wardrobe of the Chronicles of Narnia. Like there is a level of impact and a level of wealth that you can have in your speaking career that really is really surprising. And I'll dive deeper into it, but there's a way that you can, um, create your own stage, create your own products. There's just a huge, huge, huge like opportunity that speakers are sitting on time, but sometimes they're not aware of it, Angie. They're thinking that like, oh, I can just speak and get paid a little bit here or a little bit there. But they're like, wow, if you start to learn how to like create your own little empire, that's when now you're in the stratosphere of the elite, the 1% of speakers. So we fortunately know the path and know the formula, and I've done it time and time and time and time and time again. And I can't wait to reveal that here in this episode.
Oh, that's amazing. The 1%ers. I love it.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Get in the room of the 1%ers. Excellent. Well, I would love to hear. I'm sure you have a process on how to do this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. So yeah, the real like first step that we'll do for people if they don't have a speaking career yet, or they're just kind of speaking a little bit, is we will help them craft their signature message. So we're going to get like one 45-minute, 1 hour long talk where they can tell their story in a way that not only inspires people, but also moves them to action. Like, how you hear some speakers and they're boring pants. You're just like tuning out. You know what I'm talking about, Angie?
Right.
It's like, and you can even look at the crowd, right? They're like checking their phone. They're like, I don't know. They're just, you can tell they're like zoning out. Have you ever been there if you're listening right now? And you're like, wow, okay, wait. And then you get lost a little bit. Like when they're talking, you're like getting a little lost. And you're like, wait, what did he? And you're like trying to connect the points, and you're having just a little bit of struggle. You know what I'm talking about? So we teach people how to crush this keynote message, right? So that it inspires people, but also moves them to action. Okay.
Very
So good,
important.
right?
Yeah.
And then so once they have their signature message, the next step for our people who are going full-time, getting highly paid, is we help them create like a product or an offer or a package of some kind. Like it could be a workshop or mentorship, right? Or a lot of our students will sell some type of mastermind, or even a lot of students, Angie, will sell somebody else's products. It's so cool. There's like they'll take something else that somebody else is selling, and they'll just ask, hey, can I sell this for you? And just give you a little bit of money. We'll look at a little partnership. So there's so many things, but once you speak in a way that inspires, and then you have something that you can invite people, you're not pushing anything on anybody. You're just simply inviting them if they want to go deeper, like at the end, right? And when I first did this, Angie, I remember I had like a 997 kind of confidence course. I was a life coach. And I remember the first time I offered it, and I was a little nervous, Angie, when I was like at this event. And I was like kind of shy about it. Like I was like, and if you want to do this thing, but I was like really rushy and like like there's forms in the back and blah blah blah, and then I just like ran off stage. It was like super awkward and like stumbling. It was like so bad. I'm sure somebody has a video of it somewhere. And I couldn't believe what happened. Like I literally was so shocked. So I was trying to like leave quickly because I was so embarrassed if like nobody wanted it. You know what I mean? Like just kind of be like, it's there if you want it. And like, if you don't, I don't really care. And I was trying to like go out the back. I was so like, Oh, it was so bad. And I was on the phone with my husband and I was like, oh, I don't think I did that well. Like nobody wants to thing. And then when I was on the phone with him, I was like out in the lobby now. Like I felt all the shame and all this, like, I don't know, like I'm just not good. That's what I was thinking, Angie. I was like, I'm just not good at this. I'm just not good at this. I'm not good at speaking. I'm not good at inviting people.
Uh,
I'm not good at all that. I still remember this like cloak of ugh that was on me, right? And this woman came up to me with her form. And she had filled out the form and she checked the box that she wanted it. And I was like, oh my gosh. And so I like hung up the phone to my husband. I like didn't even say goodbye. I was like, oh, and then I was like, she wants it. And then somebody else came up to me. And then a few more people came up to me. And I think something like I remember exactly like maybe like 5 or 7 people like came up to me at the first time I did it. And I walked away and I was holding these forms in my hand, Angie. And if you're on video, like I'm like, I was holding these forms and I remember tears coming down my face.
uh,
I really legitimately was like, wow. It was like the first time, if you've ever created something and you don't know if it's good or not, or people want it or not. And then like the first time somebody exchanges money for the thing that you have, it's a really, really powerful emotional experience, especially if it's about like knowledge or like life experience that you've had. Like, isn't that, Angie, just like, you're just like,
mhm.
wow, such an honor, right? Such like a sacred exchange almost.
Yeah.
And I just served my pants off for those 5 or 7 people and helped them like crazy town. And that was the beginning of understanding the power of one message and one product.
Wow.
And that one product, Angie, generated around $50,000 for me my first year with my one message.
Oh, that's
I
wonderful.
know, I know. So you're like, wow, that's not $1 million, but yeah, $50,000 was a lot to me as an Uber driver. So long story short, after you get your signature message and you get your product, there's an opportunity now to like invite people into a small little event of your own. Like you can have a little event, just a few hours. Like you can kind of create your own little room, your own little Zoom stage is how I did it, Angie. Just like few so once I sold the product, I sold a little bit of like, hey, you'll also get this bonus ticket to this kind of like implementation day that we're going to do together. And I just started teaching and just started training, just started serving people. And it opened the door, Angie. Those little events started opening the door for more and more wealth, more and more cash infusions. Like it was great. It's kind of insane how quickly it happened. It can happen for many speakers. Many of our students will start to, in one day, Angie, do 6 figures in one day.
Wow.
That's what happened to me at one of my first events. I did 6 figures. And then your mind's kind of like, what just happened to me? Like literally, like what have I been doing like with my whole life? So yeah, so you have your message, then you have your product, then you can start having your own little events and creating your own little movement. And that's, Angie, where the juice is, I really feel like, because I know people like Angie, you have a level of sincerity and authentic care that you transmit and transmute to people when they meet you. And
Mhm.
so imagine, people, we forget, Angie, like how needy the world is right now for hope, for love, for self-care, for someone to create a room, someone to create a movement, someone to create a mentorship that's focused on healing them, helping them, creating wealth for them. Whatever your offer is, whoever listening, like don't underestimate the power of a small room. You
Mm.
and don't belittle a small room. Like that is the power of changing 10, 20, 30 people's lives that will literally forever be changed. Like 100%. Immersion causes conversion. So that time that you have to train with your people is not only the power for, yes, you're going to be able to have lots of money and go on vacations and buy what you want and houses and cars and all the stuff. Like we're so blessed now because of those events, but it's about the people.
Right.
It is 100% about the people you are called to serve. And those mini events, Angie, wouldn't you agree? Like people can shift their whole lives.
Yeah. It's very powerful. Yeah. Very powerful. Just the moments to be able to, yeah, the transference of the energy, from one person to another, and we help one another when we speak to one another, and just to be able to provide that space to help people explore for themselves through using our words as we speak.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So our step-by-step system guides people through all of that, and they acquire the skill of speaking so they can host their own events, or even, Angie, they can even go help other people now that they've become a powerful powerhouse speaker, go help other people have events like influencers and entrepreneurs, because now they contain the highest paid skill on the planet, which is speaking and moving people into an invitation. So many of our students, Angie, go on to become consultants of their own or consultants for other people, facilitating the number one way for life change, which is speaking in virtual events. So that is our formula. And, a lot of times, Angie, there's some things that can hold people back, which I'm happy to dive into too. Yeah.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next question.
Okay.
Yeah, there's so much power in speaking, as we've just gone through. But I know there's people that are held back because they're whatever. So give us some things that are holding people back in speaking.
Yeah. So a lot of times with their signature message, Angie, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't know what to say. And I don't know, sometimes even deeper, I know for me, it was like, I don't know if my story actually is going to really impact anybody. Like the first time I did my signature message, I was in a room with 15 people. I was here in Houston, and 100% the movie going on in my mind is like, I don't think this is going to help anybody. Like we have this like voice in our mind, you know what I'm talking about? Yep. And it's like, we don't sometimes our superpower is so close to us, Angie, we don't think it's that super.
Right. Exactly.
Like how you preach, like, it's like your awesomeness is like right there, but you don't see it.
Yes.
You're like, but other people see it.
Yes.
They're like, Angie is amazing. She's so awesome. Like I feel on fire every time around her. Like, but we're so close to our superpower, we don't think it's that super.
Yes.
So just for everybody listening, like that's just how you will feel before you get up and share your story. That's just it. That's just it. Superheroes forget that they're superheroes. But then when you see the audience react and respond to your story, Angie, and everybody listening, you'll see it in their eyes. They'll be like, wait, what? And they'll be like, you figured out what? And you got over that? Are you serious? Like, and then you'll see it in their eyes and you'll be like, oh my gosh, they think that's cool. Or like that was new to them. Do you know what I mean? Like, totally. or like you overcame something. Like everybody listening, you've like figured something out 100%. Like you might be the most productive person on the planet, or you might be the best, like most charismatic, like speaker. And like you got something, you figured something out, and other people don't know, they haven't gotten that figured out, but you forget that they haven't gotten it figured out.
Yes.
So yeah, go ahead.
It's like a fish in the water, like swimming around, doing its thing, just being all pretty, and the giraffes of the world are looking at this fish like, oh, how do you do that? You're flowing so beautifully in this water, like you just and the fish is looking around like water. What are you talking about? What's water? Like
that is it. Right there. That's it. And that is literally how you are. You're like a fish, and you literally have no idea how magnificent also you look to everybody else. Like there is and I'm not talking about your looks, physical looks. I mean, that might be true for those of you listening, but like I'm saying, your spirit, your inner character, like there's something magnificent, literally like the power of the universe and the power of God is like inside of you, and it gets unleashed when you share your story. And it's magnificent, stunning, even to the audience. But you're just like, oh, this is so normal pants. Like in your head, you're like, duh. Like, don't you all know how to calculate financial spreadsheets? Like you have some, you know what I mean? Like you have something that's like so cool. So I think it relaxes me a little bit, and perhaps those of you listening to know, like, you might just feel like that about your story, but I love this quote from Brendan Burchard, which says, your internal insecurity is not market reality.
Mm,
What does that mean? It means like the feelings that you're feeling about your thing and what you offer and like your program and your, your journey and your story, you may have internal insecurity about it, but like, that's okay.
right.
The great news is it's not market reality, meaning the audience does think it's super crazy cool pants. Like they're just like, yes, I want to know more. How do I find out deeper? How do I like get around Angie's energy source? You know what I mean? Like they want it. So it's totally fine if you have nervousness, anxiety, fear, doubt, your knees are shaking, your words are fumbling. Like it doesn't matter. Your internal insecurity is not market reality.
I love that. Oh, that's wonderful. What else do you think holds people back from
I
becoming a
think
good
sometimes,
speaker?
I think sometimes we think we have to be like on a really big stage. And
Mm,
it's so crazy town, Angie, because if you've got like a good story in a small room, we've actually seen people crush it with life change and cash infusions. So even in fact, in intimate rooms, like 10, 15, 30 people, like we've seen people even do 6 figures in that size room. I know that sounds crazy, even just me saying that out loud, but understand that, um, like the absence of evidence doesn't mean the absence of existence. So if you see the absence of evidence, it doesn't mean it's not real. Just understand that there is a reality and where small rooms can do really big numbers, right? So even like $1 million day is 34 sales at like a 30K mentorship. Like just imagine like there's ways in which small rooms can have really big impact. But I think more than that, Angie, is like not to discredit the power of changing people in a small room. So like entire lives can get shifted in a small room. But I think we discredit it or devalue it or like think that only big stages and thousands of people is where the lights, the glory, the glamour, the money is. And I'm here to tell you 100% it's not. Like that the big money is not in those is big. Yes, in some cases, but where we've seen results, Angie, like all the 6 and 7 figure days are small rooms, less than 200 people.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that intimacy where you can have more exchange, you can kind
Yeah.
of read the
100%.
audience more and
Right.
really serve them at in a higher way.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, anything else you want to share with us? And what would you suggest our listeners do next?
Yeah. Well, if you're feeling that call, that pull meant for more, you want to share your message on stage, and we have a really awesome opportunity coming up, which is our 5-day challenge.
Mm.
And it starts really soon. And we'd love to invite you to explore how you can have a full-time speaking career. I love to tell people, Angie, that the perfect career is possible. And I truly believe it's speaking. I truly believe that because you can impact, think about the thousands of lives you can impact by the time your time is done here, on this side, on Earth side. By the time you're done, you have thousands of people. So our 5-day challenge dives deeper in how you can make speaking your full-time career and even how you can create wealth, like crazy town wealth, like make it rain like a hurricane, and change your family's life forever and ever for generations. So that's our 5-day challenge coming up soon. I think Angie's got a link for you. Normally, Angie, because like these kind of events, that the power, the value, the Q&A that we're going to be able to customize for those of you listening for your personal business, you can come with your question. We're happy to answer it. Normally people pay thousands of dollars for an event like this, but because it's virtual, it's deeply discounted. In fact, I don't even know how much it is, to be totally honest with you, but just go to the link wherever Angie's sharing it, because it's virtual. It's at a price that you will love. So we'd love to invite you and can't wait to serve you and see you there. Angie, where can they go?
That's awesome. Yeah. Awesomespeakerrevenuechallenge.com. Awesomespeakerrevenuechallenge.com. I'll put the link in comments wherever this is being posted. And I really appreciate you, Eileen,
We
coming.
appreciate you, Angie.
I
Awesome,
met you
Angie.
guys. I don't even know how I found the 5-day challenge originally, but that's how I met you.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah. And
Yay.
absolutely, for
Such a
those of
blessing.
you that are feeling that pull right now and you're like, oh my gosh, I want more, just definitely smash that button and register and get the information because it has honestly changed my life. You guys
So cool.
are, it's just amazing to watch you in action and your leadership and your professionalism. And I just love being in the rooms with people that think bigger. That 1% club. Yeah. So
let's go. Let's
yeah,
go. Let's go.
let's go. So
Awesome.
so
Well, thank you.
everyone out there, thank you, Eileen. Thank you. So all our listeners, keep being awesome, stay inspired. And what are you planting today that is going to help create a life that you desire? All right. Awesome. Awesome speaker revenue challenge.com. Love you guys. Thank you, Eileen.
Thank you.